Welcome to the final table of 100K Highroller event of India Poker Championship Megastacks 2022. In total, we had some 163 entries, which makes a huge prize pool of 1.63 crores. Isn't that a huge amount, guys? Well, now, we are down to our final 8 players, and the winner will take huge amount of 43.32 lakhs. So let's invite our 8 finalists to the table. Well, on seat 1, we have Faiz Alam. Congratulations. On seat 2, we have Arsh Grover. Congratulations. Alok Birewar on seat 3. He is the chip leader on the table with 1.22 CR. Congratulations. On seat 4, we have Aly Goni. Congratulations, Ali.
क्या लग रही हो?
Abhinav Iyer on seat 5. Congratulations. On seat 6, we have our Spartan pro, Nikita Luther. She's on the way. She'll be right here. On seat 7, Anuj Yadav, lowest in chips, that is 18.75 lakhs. Congratulations. On seat 8, we have Siddhant Kapoor. Look at the table, guys. This is our final table. So we are going to have some high voltage action. So guys, best of luck. Over to our commentators now.
Good evening, one and all. Welcome to the live coverage of Indian Poker Championship Megastacks 2022, live from Casino Vegas in Nepal. I, Akshay Kapoor, alongside Prajit Gambhir, is going to bring you all the juicy action. What do you have to say about this, Prajit? We've got the high roller final table with us.
Listen, Akshay, I just want to say one thing here. In my experience of commentating and playing and watching poker live here in the country, I don't ever think that I've seen a lineup like that ever on a final table. We've got some big names in terms of pros, women poker players. We in fact have actors on the table. And let's not forget, we even have WSOP bracelet winners on that final table. It's no joke. This is the high roller, and high roller brings in all the high roller people as well. And we have some jam-packed action lined up for you guys today. It is so much fun. I'm really excited. How about you?
I'm really excited. Like, the players are playing for 43 lakhs up top.
My God.
For a buy-in of 1 lakh rupees, you get 43 lakhs.
I mean, listen, like we just discussed, it is the India Poker Championship here at Casino Vegas in Nepal. This is it, guys. This is the high roller final table. We started with 163 entries today, and we are down to the final 8 players. All of them, by the way, have locked in 4.97 lakh already, and they're playing, like you just mentioned, for a up top price pool of 43.32 lakh. I'm excited. Let's shuffle up and deal. Good luck to everyone. May the best man or the woman win. I mean, listen, I just want to quickly take you guys through the lineup here. There's Nikita Luther. She's already won a bracelet. She's been playing poker for the past 10 years. And you know she's a very familiar face in the Indian poker fraternity. She's not mincing her words because she said her favorite hand is pocket aces. And that's super obvious, right? Anuj Yadav, the guy that you see on your table. What do you have to say about him? I'm sure that you've played enough with him. He's a young gun playing since 2018. And I kid you not, I've commentated in the past. He also plays for PSL.
Yep.
This guy, this dude is relentless and aggressive to a different level. I just want him to have chips so that he can show some magic.
T2 Tauji, as we call him.
Yeah.
We see him every day on final table. It doesn't matter what stakes he's playing. He's playing every single stakes. He's showing up every single day. And he just delivers day in, day out.
Yeah.
A player to watch out.
Yeah.
Huge potential. I think he's one of India's best poker player right now.
Here we have Alok Birewar, the chip leader with 12 million chips. Listen, guys, and the chip leader is a very commendable player. He's made a lot of deep runs, played superb amounts of poker, waking up with ace king in the very first hand of this final table. Alok, by the way, has come third in the 2020 IPC main event. And now he's yet again on the high roller final table here in 2022, taking that pot down, chipping up to about 13 million. There you can see the chip stacks. Anuj with 15 big blinds. But listen, do not think that 15 big blinds is tough to play with, because he could do anything with that chip stack. A single double up is going to mean trouble for almost everybody on that table. Nikita, with the second shot, a stack of about 16 big blinds there. I just want to talk about a couple of more players, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
100%.
this lineup is just amazing. You want to talk about...
Well, yeah, I would love to talk about Aly Goni. He's 31 years old. As we all know, he's an actor. We've all seen him in Big Boss doing
Brilliant.
amazing performances. His best hand, pocket nines is his best hand. That's what he likes.
And listen, this is something that you can anyways all the time expect from a brand like India Poker Championship. This is something that Spartan Poker delivers.
Yeah.
You know, the high life. They bring in the cream of the cream. They bring in the actors who mix up with the professional poker players. And he's no joke, because he's on the final table with rubbing shoulders with some of the best players in town. And with the best player, I really, really, really want to talk about Abhinav Iyer, dude. Like, this guy he's won the closer event. He's also got a bracelet on his own. And he's just... What can I say? He's relentless. He doesn't stop. Online, live, India, international doesn't really make a difference to him. And with that being said, he's on the button with Pocket Kings. Wow, dude.
As you said, Prajit, he's a phenomenal player. He plays every single day. He's playing all across the sides. And also, the main important thing is he shows up every single time. And he delivers as well.
This is 6,90,000.
We can see our chip leader flexing his muscles with that stack size.
90.
Yeah, and... Of course, listen, he understands Alok is going to be opening every single hand there. But, you know, here's the thing. Abhinav doesn't really have much of a decision there. He has Pocket Kings. He was anyways raising. And he would have... I mean, he takes the pot down. 10-5 is something that Alok is not going to defend with. Here we have the payouts. 8th position. 4,97,000 guaranteed with massive pay jumps. 564, 651, 785. Up top 43 lakh. Huge amounts of money to play with. There's a 10 times difference between coming 8th or coming 1st in this tournament. That's what Faiz, a Pocket Kings being delivered for free. Faiz under the gun waking up with Pocket Kings now. Good Lord. What's happening?
Faiz, a very dear friend of mine. I really want to see him run deep in this tournament. He's been putting a lot of work outside on the lab, and you can see it that he has shown up on this for this live event. I think he's playing this event after a very long time. So we see Faiz Alam opening up to 240k from under the gun, and Alok with an ace-3 off. Alok here would be looking to put the maximum pressure on middle stacks, as well as players have to adjust because they're playing with celebrities as well. So there's a lot of EV that is involved.
Correct. But here's the thing. He obviously understands the fact that Faiz has opened from under the gun, and applying pressure on somebody who's opening, knowing that the chip leader is yet to act after them, has to be strong, and he's not going to be opening really, really light and making the right decision there, folding his ace-3 off. Ali, with his unorthodox play, which has actually gotten him here this far, beautifully just calling there with the king deuce off. I'd love to see how this hand really, really moves ahead. Anuj also letting the hand go. The hand is now between Faiz and Ali. But here's the thing. Another king I just saw being folded, so there's no possibility of a king high board.
I saw 2 2s being folded. So
All right. What do we want to see?
if this is an ace high board, it's going to be really difficult for Faiz to play because he's going to put Ali on a tighter range, and it's really hard to put Ali on like king deuce off from this position.
Yep, that's also not a board that Faiz would be totally loving. But having said that, his kings are ahead and he knows his kings are too strong there. He's definitely going to want to target a lot of hands that Ali is going to have in his range. Faiz decides to check, being out of position. The action is on Ali. He looks down at his cards. He's got the king deuce off, which hasn't changed. Still the same cards. He's giving it a thought. Look at him. I mean, we must understand he's an actor by profession, so he knows exactly how to make a poker face. He's put in a bet of 2 big blinds to 2,40,000 chips. Let's understand that he's got 20 big blinds to play with. He's put in 2,40,000 into about $1 million there.
For those who are watching us live, you don't have to wait for good cards to play. Sometimes you can make the play. Sometimes they would work. Sometimes it wouldn't. So never depend on the good cards. It's about playing your opponent, playing position, and putting maximum pressure on your opponents.
Absolutely. Faiz giving a big thought of whether he wants to call or raise in this situation. We obviously understand that he's not going to fold there, and he does put in a raise. The question is, how big is that raise? That looks like a huge raise there. He's gone approximately 4 times the initial bet put in by Ali. So his intent of checking that board was to essentially check raise him, and he has done that. He's raised to 1 million, putting in half of his remaining stack there, putting Ali into a decision. He's gone into a tank, but we know for a fact that he is definitely folding here. He's not continuing with the king deuce there.
Ali is just trying to build an image that when he bets, he doesn't bet air. Like if he quickly folds his, players are going to make a mark of it that he sometimes do bet with an air.
A little bit of a surprise for me initially, just seeing Ali flat with that king deuce off from hijack. But listen, it's gotten him this far, and of course he must have some strategy behind it. He's giving it a big thought of what he intends to do, making it look like a decision. He's thinking about it. What do you think he's thinking, Akshay? Is he just trying to save his face, like you just said, or is he actually thinking of continuing this without a club in hand? Just one, and he lets it go. Yes, he obviously was trying to save his face there. Brilliant display of his acting skills. And
we all saw that, guys. He's telling Alok that, I have a big hand and I folded a big hand.
Absolutely. I just want to talk about that man on the right hand side of the screen there, Arsh Grover, another young professional poker player who's been crushing it for years and years now. He's only 26, and I can't really recall the kind of tournaments he's already won at such a young age. He's basically won at least all of the Indian MTTs in his life, and his favorite hand is also pocket aces.
Just so you know, just because you mentioned Arsh, also known as Big Timer, he was grinding in yesterday for the Highroller. While he was grinding, he had 3 tables running on his mobile phone. So he's a machine. He's playing every single day. And
Look at that, the rail. That
we
rail
saw
for
Ali's
Ali.
rail.
There we have it. We've got some friends here railing our man Ali there.
Yes, sir.
Action on him. Looks down at ace 8 from another gun +2. He's got... The blinds have increased to 75,150 with a 150k big blind ante. Anuj Yadav on the dealer button, letting his hand go.
Siddhant Kapoor, we have another celebrity on the table. Do you want to talk about Siddhant, Prajit?
Yes, he's an actor by profession. Most of you would have seen him. And he's also a DJ. But let's not forget, he grinds a bunch of poker. You see him in almost all of the live tournaments. He's always giving an appearance. He's a regular when it essentially comes to live tournaments. But you'll not be surprised to know that he also plays online tournaments. And he's shipped the 8.5 lakh overall winning prize for the Destiny on Spartan Poker. So that's no joke. He's basically shipped the Elite as well, the Destiny as well, a couple of other tournaments here and there. So he's a regular in the online sphere of things. So I'm not surprised. So for anyone who's considering him as an actor / DJ playing poker, no, he's actually very serious about his poker game, and he's very skilled. You may find him having a decent amount of edge over a couple of players here. But having said that, this final table having Arsh, having Abhinav Iyer, having Alok Birewar, having Nikita Luther, all of these guys on the same table. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be a walk in the park for anyone.
For those who are wondering what's Sid's ID on Spartan, I believe it's Bullseye. So you must have played against him. Now you know. Now you can put a face across that ID as well.
He picks up 7-4 off. Alok basically racing to two big blinds with his queen 10. Absolutely standard open for him with that stack depth. Faiz on the small blind with ace 5 suited. Letting it go. Does not want to play out of position against the chip leader.
I believe this, so Faiz is around in the middle stacks, and when you're in the middle stack, you really don't want to mess with the chip leader, because what you actually want is you want the shorter stacks to burst, so you move up the pay ladder. So that is what we see Faiz do, because the problem there is if you actually 3-bet that hand or actually call that hand, if you call that hand, you're going to be playing out of position, and then if you 3-bet a hand, you are inflating a pot. So that makes it more troublesome for players who have the middle stack on the final table. This is the beauty of final table. Ranges do change. People do loosen up. It all depends on your stack size, on your position. So these are the key elements that you need to adjust when you are on the final table. And not just the final table, guys. This is a high roller final table that we are watching right now.
And the pay jumps are humongous, right? I mean, it's a 1 lakh buy-in. You've already racked up and frozen 5 lakh for yourself. There's a 64,000 pay jump that increases to about a lakh, and then it's 7.85 for 5th position, and then it's upwards of 10 lakh for 4th. I mean, there's a lot to play for. Now here we have Faiz Alam folded to him on the dealer button with the queen jack. You anyways need to have a very, very wide range of hands that you open from the button. Queen jack right up there. He's going to play that hand for sure. But he should know that it's Alok.
Alok's sitting on the big blind, and he knows that Alok's not going to be making it any easier for him. And we are jumping the gun, I think, Prajit.
Yeah.
We have to focus on Arsh Grover sitting in the small blind as
absolutely.
well. Because
I mean, I was just going to say that, because who on the button would want Arsh and Alok as a chip leader on the small and the big blind? This dude is extremely aggressive. I've seen him play on the final tables a bunch of times, and again, it's commendable to see just how good he is post-flop. At this point in time, he has pocket sevens, and he just decides to make a call.
So
with his sevens not decided to put in a 3-bet, because
this is pretty standard, Prajit, when you're on the final table, when Faiz is opening from the button.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to get 3-bet because Alok is sitting behind him, and Alok actually covers him.
Yeah.
So what you really want to see is you want to play small pots if you are in the middle stack, and make sure that you have your pay jumps. Yes, you should not just play for play jump. You should always play for the first, second, because that's where the money is, the huge money is. But I think playing small ball, especially with regs to regs, I think it's a very nice strategy.
Yeah. Flatting his pocket sevens there, checking on the flop. The board has an ace and a king on it, and we know for a fact that Faiz has a queen jack with him, which means that he has still outs in terms of a queen or a jack, and also a 10, which helps him complete the gut shot straight draw, a check back, as we see on that board. A deuce actually an inconsequential hand there at this point in time, just bringing up a flush draw. Won't really change much on that kind of a board texture. So the action back on Arsh.
So we see Faiz checking back that flop, and rightly so, because Arsh is going to have a lot of ace-x and
Ace-X's
king
when he
x
flats from
in
the
his
small
small blind. We might not see many suited cards in small blinds range from there, but we're going to see a lot of pocket pairs, a lot of ace-x, and a lot of king x. And that is why Faiz just wants to realize his equity playing in position.
This time around, when it's been checked the second time by Arsh, Faiz decided to put in a bet. He's bet 425,000. And with that, Arsh has just immediately folded his pocket sevens.
150.
There we have it.
बिग ब्लाइंड में थोड़ा डिस्काउंट होना चाहिए
Faiz.
ऐसा लगता है
Ali with the table humor is saying,
कोड रखो नेक्स्ट टाइम से
Ali basically
जो अंदर
cracking his
कमाया वो
eyes.
यूज कर लें इधर
He's asking for a
Big blind
discount
इतना
on the
choose
big
करता है।
blind.
भाई मुझे नहीं खेलना बिग ब्लाइंड अभी बोर्ड बढ़ता जाएगा ये
the button on Arsh and Ali with his big blind. That's why you hear him complaining there.
मेरे कार्ड मेरी चिप बजा रहा हूँ
Abhinav Iyer.
I'm just going to let Ali take it over from here. Let him talk. Such an entertaining person that we have on the live stream. And it's a very rare occasion that we get to see him live.
It's definitely going to be a fun and entertaining final table because we have a right mix.
मैंने बोला था जब मैंने
We
बोला
have the right mix.
See, you slept at 12 ना 11 we both slept at 11
Crore is 3 lakh.
There seems to be a problem with the graphics. We're obviously trying to fix it, as I've been told by our production team. We'll have to sweat with the players. For now, Faiz again opening this time around from the cutoff to 300,000. Arsh Grover making the fold, and Alok Birewar this time around on the small blind, thinking, contemplating what he wants to do. The graphics are back. Faiz has opened Queen Deuce off from the cutoff.
So I think what's happening is Faiz is trying to extend his range because he see Ali sitting in the big blind, and I believe that is what Ali was trying to do, put pressure on Faiz. So they must have some live reads that they have because they've been playing for over 10 hours now.
But then that's the difficulty when you have people like Arsh and Alok behind you. I believe Alok has decided to put in the 3-bet, that too with the King 4, sensing the weakness that Faiz has in that particular situation. From the small blind, King 4 was choosing that hand to put in a 3-bet, blocking a couple of good hands that Faiz may have, which basically allows Ali to get away from that hand, and the action is back on Faiz.
So right now, guys, Faiz Alam is the person that you're seeing. He's 39 years old. He's been playing poker since 2017. He shipped an event for 50 lakhs before, so he's just not a rookie that you get to see. He's a pro veteran that we are witnessing. And he told us that the tournament achievement he's yet to achieve. Like after winning the 50 lakh amount, he is still down to earth and wanting to claim even more. And that is why we see him here playing on the final table for Indian Poker Championship,
In that
Megastacks.
hand, we saw Alok 3-betting, taking it down, sensing the weakness, and of course, Faiz not wanting to continue with his Queen Deuce off. Now the button, moving on to the chip leader. Nikita is under the gun, looks down at 6-5 off. Lets it go. Anuj not really picking up much here. He's down to 11 bigs, a little under 11 bigs. He's got 1.6 million. Listen, I would never discount him. Never in my entire life. I've seen him dominate players left, right and center. He's aggressive. Siddhant Kapoor.
So I always have
Queen
this
10.
funny encounter with Anuj while I'm playing on the online felts. He's got I think he's a fan of Peggy Penguins, which is an NFT, and I always have Lazy Lion, so we're always appreciating each other collection on NFT. He's 27 years old. He's won around 40, like his biggest cash is 42 lakhs, that too from Spartan. And he's been playing poker since 2018.
Yeah, he's just hit the felts hard. There we see an open with the Queen 10 of spades to 300,000. Alok also letting that hand go from the button. Ali with 9-3 off. Abhinav Iyer on the big blind with a pretty defendable sort of a hand. Also 21 big blinds. Just want to quickly
We see Abhinav Iyer defend with 10-8 off from the big blind. Dominated Prajit going on post
totally.
flop.
But that's a board that doesn't really help him much. He's just got the 8 of spades there. But having said that, Siddhant has a flush draw. He also has some sort of a range advantage, obviously, with the king high board there against Abhinav Iyer, who's defended from the big blind. We're most likely going to have Siddhant put in a small bet and take this spot down. Very standard play in my opinion. We'll have to see what he decides to do. He does put in a 3,50,000 bet. A little more than 2 big blinds there in that pot.
Prajit, anything that you have to say about his pre-flop defending with 10-8 off against an early position open?
I mean, he felt that it was connected enough, and he also would have felt that, listen, I may have post-flop advantage even though I'm out of position against Siddhant there. He'd want to see his, he'd want to basically, he felt he's still upwards of 20 big blinds. So, defendable. There you see it. The chopper ride here exclusively being done at Casino Vegas at HMC Hotel in Nepal, and that's something that all of us have experienced here. It's something that's happening for the maybe it's going to happen tomorrow as well. It was on as a service from the 18th to the 21st. I kid you not, it's a 10-minute ride, but it gives you a thrill of a lifetime. Everyone enjoyed it here. It's one of those things that you get at IPC only. Look at that, the Nepalese flag, the sponsors, all of them on the flag. It's a beautiful, brilliant venue and a massive setup. The overall setup is just amazing. On to the next hand, guys. Here we have it. Here we have our man Anuj Yadav under the gun picking up Anna Kournikova, the ace king.
Around 10.5 big blinds. What do you do here, Prajit? Do you open shove this hand or do you raise hand, induce action from behind?
I mean, my personal preference would be to just jam hit. I'd be ripping it some of the times, but Anuj is Anuj, and he knows way more than I do, and he could totally, yeah, that's what he does. He still decides to open and wants to play post flop. The reason why I would have preferred jamming here is because, yes, by opening you could induce action from weaker ace X's to go all in against you, but even if somebody has an ace queen or an ace jack, somewhat they would be willing to, if they have the stack depth, to maybe call my 10 big blind jam there. I still could induce calls from weaker ace X's there. The only reason why I'd prefer jam, in my personal opinion, would be that I'd not want to go post flop and play out of position since I'm in early position. Other than that, he obviously has a plan with his ace king. And let's not forget one thing here. Ace king opening from under the gun looks extremely nutted as well with a 10 big blind stack. So people are putting him on a very slim range of hands which are extremely nutted and extremely high pocket pairs and hands like ace king sorts.
See, Anuj is the person, he's like a player that he's going to have a lot of opens even at like 10 bigs, 12 bigs and 8 bigs. He loves to play post flop because that's where his edge is.
Yeah.
That is why he's opening ace king. And to be honest with you, like if he thinks like if the players have ace queen, ace jack, they're going to jam against him and he's going to be in a very good shape against those hands.
But what do you think when he jams, does an ace queen not call him off?
It does, but what if somebody has ace 5? Maybe it doesn't.
Correct, but I mean, I do see reasons of opening, but I also do see equal reasons of jamming there, which I believe he's also going to be very balanced with his overall approach there. He may sometimes just open jam and he may sometimes decide to open as well.
Yeah.
Right?
It just depends on the combination of cards that he gets. The thing that we have to see on the final table is the chip leader is like the table boss.
Yeah.
So he can get out of the line. It depends if he's feeling for it or not.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that Alok is gonna flex his muscles against every single player that we see on the table, and they're gonna sweat. They have to sweat for it.
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to quickly talk about Nikita Luther, who we haven't touched upon. She's a professional poker player, familiar face in the poker circuit. For some reason, her favorite hand, her best hand is deuces. She must have some good history with that particular hand. And she's won the Arya main event. Vegas came second in that. And she's been playing poker for the last 10 years. I mean, look at her. She's on the screen right there, picking up jacks. What's up, man? I start talking about people, they start picking up hands. There's an open from the chip leader. Nikita knows what's up. She's been around for a very long time to understand the dynamics of this game. Plus, her hand strength is extremely good there with her jacks.
Pocket jacks, also known as hooks, I believe.
Yeah. Not the most easiest hands to play, but in this situation, she's most likely going to take it down. Unless Anuj wakes up with a monster on the big blind. Which he doesn't. He's got 6-5 off. And Alok is obviously going to save his face. Going to ask for a chip count and understand. Is he ever calling here?
I don't think so.
Right? He's only committed 300,000 chips. He has to call 1.3 million more with King 7, and he's most likely going to be dominated there all the time.
I'm pretty sure like he's aware that the table's gonna put him on a wider range, so he's just trying to play along that. Guys, I'm not opening that wide, and I may call you off. So just trying to save his face.
Yeah. Letting it go, King 7. Don't blame him at all. Listen, standard open for him as a chip leader. Nikita, standard play, pocket jacks, 10 and a half big blinds, ripping it in, picking up the 300,000 along with the big blind, ante, small blind, everything.
Our cameraman zooming in on the Spartan Pro, Nikita
Yep.
Luther. She's been on a terrific run for last, I believe, probably like 3-6 months maybe. I'm not really sure. Pratchett, do you want to help me out there?
She's recently done really well in the other live tournaments that she's played, and she's run really deep in a lot of tournaments. I've commentated a couple of times previously on her as well, and listen, she's had splendid runs. This is yet another final table for her.
किंग्स देखना है मुझे बस और कुछ नहीं देखना है वो याद मेरा पहला एंड तो मुझे किंग्स देखने हैं आपके पास थे ही नहीं Godfather follows
Raise 3 lakh.
Summit. Wow.
4.
Arsh opening with 8-6 of spades from under the gun +1, mixing it up.
Wide open, especially considering that Alok is sitting just next to him. I believe Arsh is the youngest player we have on this final table.
Ali, thinking about it, he just makes the call. He likes to play his 8-7, and he doesn't really know at this point in time, but he has Arsh dominated there. And Siddhant on the big blind with Jack 10 being totally priced in. He just needs to put another 150,000 in, almost $1 million already in the pot, and Jack 10 is a beautiful hand to play, and he's got no idea. He's actually ahead of both of them right now.
By a fair margin, I would say.
Yeah.
Ali is here to play, guys. He's calling 8-7 off from hijack. He's here to play.
Chip player. Check or bet, sir.
Let's see the flop. The flop is Queen, Jack, 5, 1 spade. It's basically helped Siddhant improve to a second pair with his Jack 10.
Check.
Arsh out of position to Ali, opting to check, and Ali now having position on both of them with his 8-7 off, also decides to check.
Check or bet, sir.
The 6 is a very interesting card because it gives Arsh a pair, but it gives an open-ended straight draw to Ali.
We might see Siddhant lead out from the big blind because both the players have decided
Yep.
to check the flop. Jack 10 might want to protect his hand a little bit. And
Yep.
we might see a small lead from Siddhant here.
There's 1.1 million in the pot. He's thinking about if he does want to lead. He does not. He decides to still check. Slow playing his pair of Jack there. Now we know that Arsh has made the pair a 6, but does he really want to represent strength is the question.
The action is on Arsh, guys. He's deciding whether to bet for protection or check back. And we see him betting 5 lakhs around half pot size. That is what he's gone with.
Ali letting his open-ended straight draw go there. Siddhant thinking. He obviously knows his hand is under-repped. He's checked twice with the second pair.
I'll be really surprised to see Siddhant fold here, just facing one bet. I know that Arsh has gone for a little bigger bet, but his hand just wants to call here with Jack 10. It's under repped. He hasn't led the turn after the flop went check check, so he has to call this bet. The interesting thing here, Prajit, is what does Arsh do on the river when he gets a call here? Because he's going to be quite confident that when Siddhant calls him from the big blind, he's going to have a pair which is a better than a 6, especially because Siddhant has... Oh, wow. Talk about some interesting things that we get to see on this final table.
Well, this is what happens when you're playing for big money. Certain decisions are taken, keeping the future equity in mind, and he maybe did not want to call with his jack there. Having said that, Arsh was the pre-flop aggressor. Checked the flop at the turn, took it down. Both the players had some connectivity because Ali had an open-ended straight draw and Siddhant actually had a second pair that was extremely under rev, decided not to continue playing with that. Arsh, dangerous, picking up more chips. He's now up to 5.4 million.
Table's ordering some food for them. They've been playing for around 10 hours, I believe, now.
Absolutely.
And they played it yesterday as well.
And there's a fair amount of play still left today.
Ah.
It's the final table of the high roller 1 lakh buy-in
Raise 3 lakh.
at the India Poker Championship. Alok, this time with a very legit hand. It's not one of those king 7 10 5s that he's opening. It's an ace jack. He actually wants somebody to push back at him this time around. He's got 13 million chips, puts in a bet of 300,000. Nobody really has anything till now. Fairs would be on the big blind. It's currently Siddhant on the small with his jack 7. Let's go. And a 5-4, pretty defendable hand. He's got about 19 bigs, 18 to 19 bigs there with his 2.8 million chip stack. Smiling for some reason.
So Faiz and Alok are old friends, and that is why we see Faiz giving him a smile before he elects to call and defend his big blind.
That's all.
Oh, I can see
Check.
an ace, a 3, and a 3 looks like this 3 of spades. Have to see what the flop is. It's an ace high board, and he's also connected there with a 4. And it's been a quick call with his pair of 4s and a backdoor spade draw. And another spade rolls out on the turn. This hand's become more and more interesting as we talk about it. He has a spade draw. He also has a 5 or a 4 to help him improve. I don't see him going anywhere, but also depends on the sizing that Alok chooses here, because Alok must be fairly confident that his ace jack is good against the big blind's range here.
We might see Alok go for a bigger bet here,
Yep.
around 60%. And
550.
Faiz is in a lot of pain having a pair and a flush draw.
Now he's in a tough spot here, listen, because he had a pair which he called with. He had the backdoor flush draw. Now it's really become a front door. He has a flush draw there. It becomes very difficult if you call the flop. How do you fold to this turn, especially when he's bet 550,000? He has to put 550 more to win 1.8 million. Makes the call, and now Alok must be thinking, what does my opponent have? What kind of draw does he have? He's clearly putting him on a hand like a 5-4, 6-4. The queen comes in. It does not help Faiz at all, and he's out of position. He's checked, and Alok quickly checks behind and sees the good news. Taking it down is Alok, and moving up to 15 million chips. And Faiz with about 1.9 million. Listen, there were 163 entries with 200,000 starting stack. So 32 million chips approximately in play, out of which 15 million are with Alok.
So
He's got half the chips in play right now. He can really crush them.
I just want to give a huge shout out to Faiz kid. He's got a son, and I'm pretty sure he's going to be very proud watching his dad.
But I will reconfirm with you later.
play this final table.
Yeah. Alok under the gun with 7-6. Obviously, he's going to be opening every single thing that he can, and if he feels is connected and playable post flop. And of course, we just discussed he has almost half the chips in play, so he really doesn't have anything to be worried about. Even if he doubles up somebody, at this point in time, it's not even going to be a big dent on his stack. But everyone else, on the other hand, is going to be really, really scared to really get into a situation with Alok at this point in time, because they are going to be at risk, and it's going to be their tournament life at stake for them to get involved.
I believe Alok has the stack and also has the best seat on this final table, because Abhinav Iyer and Nikita Luther are sitting on his right, but they do not have a stack that they can actually give Alok a fight for them. And the person who has a stack, which is Arsh Grover, is on his left. So, I mean, it's his event, it's his final table to lose.
On his right.
Big.
Just a correction there, guys. Arsh is not sitting on Alok's left. He's actually sitting on his right. But Alok does have position on him, so I got that correct.
Yeah. That fact was correct, and Abhinav and Nikita are on his left,
Yeah.
followed by...
I just got left, right, wrong, guys. Sorry.
That's up 50% of my game.
What do you think I'm doing? Just became Shakira for you. But phone मार रख के range तो है.
Siddhant on the cutoff with 3 deuce of clubs.
We see Siddhant folding diaper. That is what this hand is called now. 3 deuce suited. And if it's an offsuit 3 deuce, it's called dirty diaper.
You can at least give me one when you're not listening.
You know the reason why it's called a diaper? Any fun stories with that?
Sorry.
Any fun stories of why it's called a diaper? I'm assuming because, I don't know, I'm only going to guess here. Kids up to the age of 3 maybe wear diapers. I don't know.
I don't know the backstory of it. Is what I know is there was a player playing in the WSOP and he played this hand, and the players who were on this table watched his holdings and started calling it as a diaper hand. And when they saw an offsuit card, because he was actually raising it with the offsuit, he was actually 3-betting with those holding, so they started calling it as a dirty diaper, because we know like suited cards are more beautiful than offsuit cards.
So you just want to call it a plain diaper and a dirty diaper then. Abhinav Iyer with the king 7 off under the gun. I don't think he wants to play that. Throws it away into the muck.
मैंने actually एक picture card देखा black color का, sorry.
You
You can tell it. Yeah, you can tell it.
Yeah,
King of
sorry,
clubs
I-
exposed. Don't need to take it out,
Okay, so Abhinav just exposing one of his cards because he threw it in a fashion where I believe Siddhant was able to get a glance of a black-colored picture card. Which, in all fairness, this is basically the fair part and the fair play and responsible gaming about poker. Where if one person's seen the card, it becomes advantageous for him. So it's important that we expose that king to everybody on the table, and he's just very rightfully so. Fair play to him. Told about his card to everyone.
Oh, Nikki. Good. Very sweet thing to say now.
मेरे यही था.
I know.
350.
Ali deciding to move all in with Queen 4 offsuit.
गलत नहीं करो.
Also showing his holding to Alok Birewar that he's not gonna get scared.
Is there a rule show one show all?
I mean, there was a race by Alok there, and Ali said, I'm not going to have any of that. I know I'm for surely ahead of you. And
तो कैसे करूँ?
We can see that his cards were Queen 4, but he's there deceptively telling everybody that he had Ace 5. That's some part of poker. Listen, you obviously have to keep deceiving your opponents.
I mean, Alok is playing along with it as well. That is like the surprising part of the story.
Yeah, but Alok knows the truth. He knows it's not an Ace 5. He knows he's got the Queen 4, and he knows next time I may be able to target him. Listen, giving such information to a player of the caliber of Alok is it's a slightly minor CV in my opinion in the long run. 7-3 of clubs, letting it go. Alok on the button. They're going to open everything.
100% of his range is going to be
And this
opening
time
from
around,
the button
he's
if he's
sized
opening 3
up.
4 off.
He's sized up to 450. He's opened to 3 big blinds.
Because he knows that Abhinav is a very capable player and a phenomenal player at the same time, and he's going to be defending his big blind quite wide. That is why Alok has decided to size up,
Yeah.
and
Absolutely.
so that Abhinav Iyer doesn't defend his big blind as he should.
Does not want him
Yeah.
priced in and defend his big blind very lightly so. Raised to 450,000. Took it down. Anuj under the gun with 7 deuce. Last time around in the previous orbit he had the ace king which he opened and took down that hand. At this point in time he has nothing. He's down to a little over 10 big blinds, and Siddhant Kapoor there with ace 10 off.
किंग डूस
We see Aly Goni
आपने इतनों को खुश कर दिया ना
referring to Dhaval Mudgal who bubbled this event and walked home with 0 money. How does it feel, Prajit, to go home as a bubble boy for a high roller event?
Listen, man, I don't know about that because I haven't ever bubbled. I won't even want to know. I won't really want to ever be in that situation of bubbling a high roller, especially a 1 lakh buy-in where you know the min cash is around 2.5 lakhs. You want that money, man. Who wants? Nobody likes to play for 2 days straight up in a row and then go back home with a sad story to tell. Here we have 2 beautiful hands. Listen, we've seen Ali play the king deuce. We've seen him play the 7-8 off. King queen is like gold for this man. There's a raise from Siddhant and Ali on the dealer button. This may be the fight between the 2 actors, the 2 celebrities on the table. Abhinav Iyer on the small blind with pocket 6s. Must be feeling really, really priced in here.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Abhinav decides to fold or call. I just really don't want him to shove because Siddhant is actually opening from early position and
Absolutely.
we see Ali calling on the button, and you really don't want to shove against those ranges because they're not going to be light ranges here.
Yeah, I'm also of the same opinion. I don't think Abhinav is most likely thinking about jamming here. He's just looking to flat call or fold and he lets it go. He doesn't even want to set mine with that kind of stack depth because it makes no sense for him. The only way to proceed with that particular hand is to maybe hit a 6 and then hope for the best. At this point in time he lets it go and it's between the 2 actors like we just said, ace 10 versus king queen.
It's a different ball game who actually raises the hand. I'm pretty sure if Alok would have raised his hand, Abhinav Iyer might have gone all in. So it all depends that who's opening the action.
Siddhant actually has 2 overcards with the ace of spades. Beautiful ace of spades in his hand. It's a monotone board with 3-5-7 of spades. So he has the nut flush draw with 2 overcards there, and Ali with 2 diamonds in his hand with the king queen of diamonds, contemplating, taking his time. Taking it down, a c-bet there coming on a monotone board with the ace of spades. Very strong hand for there, Siddhant, and wins the pot.
इसमें पहले ऑल इन करता हूँ, गलत कर दिया खोलने से पहले ही टंगड़ी आ गई आपकी टंगड़ी टंगड़ी मांगी थी विंग्स दे दी छोटे बच्चे टंगड़े का छोटा बच्चा आ गया ये कैसी टंगड़ी है
we see the celebrities enjoying themselves on this final table that Spartan Poker has organized. Indian Poker Championship Megastacks 2022 project. We've got the final table. Who are you gonna pick for your pick of the day?
Well, to be honest, my first pick is Alok. Let's be real.
All right,
He's very skilled. He's also got a bunch of chips, and I know who you're going to pick.
I'm gonna go with Arsh.
I know.
I'm gonna go with Arsh
because he's definitely extremely skilled, extremely aggressive, and he's also got the second highest chip stack at this point in time on the table. So after that is something. I'm just gonna go with one pick for now, and
Well-
maybe see what's up a little later. But let's go with the Spartan Pro.
Well, I'm gonna go with Abhinav Iyer for my second choice. So you can probably go with Nikita.
Sure, let's do that. So I've got Nikita and Alok on my team, and you've got a pretty strong team yourself with Arsh and Abhinav on yours. Let's see. So for the best, listen, I would have loved to pick Anuj if he had a little more chips. You give him somewhere close to 3 mil, and I'd be like, bro, 20 bigs is too much for this man. He can easily play well. He's got the Queen 5 of hearts on the big blind, and it's a jack high board with the jack 10, then Alok's hand. So Alok has actually made the top pair. He also has the 10 of diamonds there. A lot of equity there. He's got 87% chance of winning, and he puts in the C bet, which he would have with a lot of his holdings. But at this point in time, we know for a fact that he has the top pair.
Anuj has nothing to actually defend. Like, he doesn't have backdoor flush draws. I believe he doesn't have backdoor straight draw even.
Yeah.
He's literally handcuffed.
Yeah, it was a pretty standard hand for him to defend on the big blind because it was a suited Queen 5, and
Yeah.
he knows he's never going to overplay that hand even when he connects it. He's beautiful when it comes to post flop playability from him for his own. But at this point in time, he had zero connectivity with that board, and it's one of the easiest folds.
You know what you're doing to me, Prajit? You're making me go against a person that I know. So Alok Birewar, I came across him because we started playing a game called Imposters on Discord. That is
Yeah.
how I know this man. I mean, he can actually bluff. It doesn't matter if he's playing poker or even imposter. He's really good at it. I mean, I'm meeting him for the first time, but we've played a lot of games. Everyone in the industry has a huge respect for Alok Birewar and what he has achieved so far. So yeah, you're making me go against a person that I know.
Yeah,
but
and also the chip leader.
also the chip leader.
Alok from Under the Gun +2 opening.
एक 25 दे दो मुझे कोई तो हेलो 25 दे दो
77
ये लो
ये लाए
ओके
ये छोड़ो सर हम कर देंगे आप जाओ चिल करो
And ladies and gentlemen, with that, we're going to cut for a break. From what I understand, it's a 10 minutes break for the players to ease out, and we will see you on the other side of this break to continue the action. We're still 8-handed on that 1 lakh rupee buy-in high roller final table, so do not miss the action on the other side. We'll see you around. There we are, the India Poker Championship Megastacks. Get in the game, guys. If you're still not here, you can still come in. We've got the main event running, and we also have the bounty tournament up for grabs. We are currently watching the 8-handed play, the final table for the 1 lakh buy-in, final table of the Highroller tournament here at India Poker Championship. The table started with 163. The tournament started with 163 entries, and we're down to 8 players now. This final table is something to look forward to because we've discussed this enough. We've got WSOP bracelet winners. You don't have them on the same final table as celebrities. This is exactly the kind of mix that IPC creates. It brings in, the celebs with the poker pros, the glamour with the competition, all rubbing shoulders to compete for 43 lakhs up top. I mean, that's some amount of money, and whoever's coming 8th will also take back home about 4.97, about 5 lakh guaranteed, but then the pay jumps. But listen, all of them have locked that amount, but they're all playing for that top prize of 43 lakh 32,000.
Well, they're playing for 43 lakhs. And on top of that, they're actually playing for a beautiful trophy that the winner is going to receive.
Absolutely.
We've seen some players playing very cautiously, that they're folding their second pair, and then we've seen some players that are calling king deuce off, 7-8 off. So, a good mix, I believe, Prajit.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those exciting mixes because we've got some really wild card sort of players who we've never seen on live poker. When I say live, I mean streams, so a lot of the good players won't really have reads in them.
Yeah.
They won't really know the kind of range that they're playing, but they'll obviously be relying on this particular stream to see what's up. We're just going to go back to the live action there. But like we were discussing, we've got some regs, we've got some preset winners, we've got some multiple time live and online champions there. We've got some young guns and aggressive players, but we also have actors. We also have somebody like an Ali who has defended the king deuce 7-8 off, unorthodox play, but knows how not to overplay them at all.
Well, I wouldn't count Siddhant out as well. We've got another celebrity, Siddhant. Bullseye, as we know him from Spartan Poker, is with us today on the final table. He's more of an experienced celebrity, is what I believe, because I see him play every day on Spartan. I believe that he's enjoying his fried rice that he ordered a while ago. Siddhant Kapoor.
And Nikita with pocket jacks again. And it's one of those same type of hands that Alok opened up. I believe it was a King 7 open and Nikita jammed her pocket jacks. And she may just be looking to do exactly the same. It's not a small open. It's a 400,000 open, and Nikita has pocket jacks again, and she knows it's the big bully, the chip leader on the table opening with a very wide range, and she just jams the jacks again. That's the second time in a row she's done that in this particular tournament.
Alok here is really banking on the fact that Anuj has got less than 10 big blinds, so he gets to open quite a bit because all the opponents, all the players that we have on the table are going to play super tight against his opens, and that is why we see Alok opening up with as weak of a hand as 6-5 off from early position. I believe all the players on this final table doesn't want to see Anuj double up because that's going to increase the pressure on all of them.
To be honest, I want to see Anuj double up because for the sake of entertainment, for the sake of learning, for the sake of aggression, that kid is just out of this world. I mean, I've got some immense amount of respect for him. Alok, listen, he's not giving up. He's like, listen, you can keep jamming against me, but I'm going to still keep opening. He's now opening his Jack 5 from under the gun. Aggressive play.
Do you think at this point he's actually looking at his holding, or he's just pretending to just look at the cards and just open?
Yeah, he's definitely not looking at his holdings, because if he did, he would not want to open the Jack 5 off. At this point in time, he just knows that he's playing his strength. He knows it's very difficult for players to be aggressive against him without really having the goods in their hand. So he knows people are going to be playing very honest poker against him, and that's the advantage he has. This point in time, the action is on Arsh Grover, was a very defendable hand and a very deceptive hand for the big blind range. He's got a very decent ace-9 off there. Decides to let that hand go. Does not want to get into a pot with Alok.
Yeah.
Being out of position against him. See, this is exactly where a lot of people who are watching may feel a very questionable fold, but listen, he understands the dynamics. He knows he's second in chip. He knows Alok is the chip leader. He knows it's extremely bad for him to be playing that hand against the chip leader, being out of position. And what happens when an ace-high board comes? Alok, from under the gun, will most of the times also have better ace-X's in his range. And how does his ace-9 play? He'll have to call the flop, maybe call the turn, and then fold on the river. That's basically giving a lot of chips away, because Alok, he knows for a fact, will apply pressure post-flop as well.
Well, Alok is not just your ordinary chip leader. He is a pro. He is like a shark on the table, and he's not going to slow down. It doesn't, like, you see him opening wide, but that doesn't mean he's going to slow down on post-flop. He's just going to keep firing those bullets, you know.
And Arsh understands that. He's going to barrel once on the flop, once on the turn, and obviously on the river as well. And that's basically very difficult for Arsh to heavy see him again on the big blind getting a walk. Listen, that's the advantage of being a chip leader on such a final table. Nobody really wants to get in their way. Everyone is at this point in time playing their A game, but also trying to look for that pay jump.
Aren't we allowed to get massage?
हाँ मीडिया अलाउड
भाई मसाज की जरूरत है यार
या
घर की खेती
मुझे छोड़ के ब्रो
मैं भी नहीं ये पक्का नहीं
4 lakh.
We see Abhinav Iyer opening his first hand on the final table, King Queen suited. A very beautiful holding that we get to see.
He started this hand with 2.7 million. With the blinds increased to 100,000, 200,000, with a 200,000 big blind ante. He actually had about less than 14 big blinds there. He's got 2.3 million left behind, and we have Alok on the small blind with the ace-2s. He's asking for a count of Abhinav Iyer's chips. He understands this, and Abhinav will still, even with that stack depth, have a lot of open folds there from under the gun.
But do you think Alok is going to toy around with Abhinav Iyer, the bracelet winner?
Well, we really don't know. He's not scared of him for sure, and he's obviously going to be exploiting him for all the reads that he has, and he has gone all in. Listen, that is aggressive play, and he's made the right move, in my opinion, because he's ahead in terms of equity, and he has the ace, and he quickly gets a fold out of Abhinav. He understands the dynamics. He knows that Abhinav is going to be opening a lot of hands which he does fold to aggression, and there is a bunch of ICM involved here. There are pay jumps involved, and nobody wants to come 8th and take back home 4.97 lakh when you can play for 43 lakh up top. It's just one of those situations where Alok showed his awareness and his aggression.
So for those who are watching us live, I'm just going to tell them once again, when you're on a final table, in the ICM situation, there's a thing called risk premium. So now I believe Iyer is sitting in the middle of the pack, but he can see that Anuj Yadav has under 10 bigs. I believe he has under 8 bigs. And then he see Aly Goni and players like Siddhant who doesn't have a big stack. So his risk premium would increase to a lot. Like, for example, he cannot call a spot.
Here we have, sorry to cut you there, Anuj with his pocket threes going all in from under the gun +1, and we have Siddhant who looks down at ace king suited. He's definitely going to rejam here. I don't think he's going anywhere with his ace king. A little while ago we actually saw him bust Pranav Bagai in 11th position, where Pranav on a 5-handed table jammed queen 10, and he again woke up with ace king in that hand. He's gone all in. It's going to be a flip between the threes and the ace king here, unless somebody else wakes up with a monster hand as well. Listen, we're going to have Anuj at risk for his tournament life. I'm going to be rooting for him in this particular hand. Well, let's see what happens here, guys. Anuj at risk with his pocket threes, cards on their back. It's pocket threes versus ace king, 50-50, a flip.
Good luck, guys.
Right there, good luck everyone. Siddhant needs to clip an ace or a king on the flop down of the river to beat the threes. Unless he does that or makes a straight out of flush, the threes are going to win. There's a window. There's a heart and the queen and the jack, the ace, king, another 10 also helps him. Threes still ahead. The 9 of diamonds does not help, same number of outs. Can he hit a 10, ace or a king?
It's a deuce of hearts on the river.
And with that, our man Anuj has doubled up to 2.6 million. Listen, that hand actually played itself. You can't blame anyone. Anuj hardly had any chips, picks up a pocket pair, puts it in. Siddhant, the very next position under the gun, +2, looks down at his cards, ace, king of hearts, rejams there. Cards up, threes versus ace, king, it's 50-50. Anybody's game. Anuj would have lost half the time this time around. He was lucky enough to win.
I can tell all the viewers, no player on this final table is happy other than Anuj Yadav.
and everyone's really unhappy because he's got chips, and now if he starts opening up, he can really change and shift things around. He obviously still does not have a lot of chips to play with, but listen, a guy who opens with a 10 big blind stack, you give him 20 bigs, he's going to do a bunch of things there. And he has about 13 bigs right now. He's got the 6-3 off, letting it go. That's the first double up, and with that, Siddhant actually has a short stack of under 10 big blinds. He's in the danger zone. Faiz with his deuces, letting it pass. He also had 9 big blinds there.
I mean, if Alok decides to open this hand, I can assure you that it doesn't matter what he has, he's going to open any two from this position.
He's taking a chip count, whether he wants to open or just snap jam his stack in, applying max pressure and putting everyone at their tournament life. He's just taking a count from Abhinav Iyer there, asking him whether he has 2 million, a little bit more or less.
I think jamming here might be a mistake because we see Ali sitting next to him and he is not going to fold quite a bit.
He has put in a big sized raise to 100,000. He's decided to put in a 5x raise to 100,000 applying. Sorry, 4 lakh.
2x here.
2x, 2 times, and standard open there.
He'll pick 5 lakh chips that was inside the pot though.
Yeah. And taking it down, easy life for Alok. Very well there. I mean, it's really easy for him, to be honest. It looks like a walk in the park for him, even though we thought that it's not going to be a walk in the park for anyone here. Currently, I don't know if Alok is trying to needle Abhinav Iyer there, because he's asking, I hope you're not getting irritated of me asking you a stack count every now and then. Vedant with a 9 big blind stack, looking down at his cards under the gun. 5 deuce off. He's most likely thinking, I'm happy eating my food than picking up cards that are that junky. Faiz with his jack deuce, letting that fly. Arsh looks down at king queen. Beautiful playable hand. 25 big blinds. It's definitely getting involved with that hand.
Yep.
Raise 4.
Raised to 400,000 there. 2 big blinds. Alok with the 8-4 of clubs.
All to wait for.
Right in front of your screen, guys, we see Arsh Grover, 26 years old, professional poker player. He's been playing poker since 2006. He has won an FTS main event in March 2022.
Yeah,
Machine of a
2006
player?
would mean that he's been playing poker for the past 14 years, which would mean that he started playing poker when he was 12.
I don't want to say anything there.
Of course, it wasn't for real money.
Yeah, maybe he
was
started with
practice
Singapore.
Zynga Poker, yeah. Or that WSOP app. Definitely. There we saw Arsh opening and taking that pot down with king queen off. Faiz now under the gun.
Big.
Looking down at jack 6 off. Arsh with the ace 8 of hearts. It'll be interesting to see what he decides to do with this hand, knowing that Alok is to follow and he's slightly early in terms of his position, letting that ace 8 of hearts fold. Allowing Alok to open up the 7-4 of hearts. And Ali, who's got the king 6 of hearts, decides to let it go. Bunch of hearts there. Abhinav with jack 3. Anuj Yadav on the small blind with ace 4 of clubs. Interesting. He's aggressive.
I wouldn't be surprised if Anuj decides to shove this against the chip leader open.
Yeah. He's looking down.
He's just looking at the other player's stacks, so it
Stack as
all
well.
comes to what other players have in this situation. like you can look at him and he really wants to jam this hand, but the ICM pressure is there. Everyone is in a pressure cooker when Alok Birewar is on the final table.
Absolutely, because he knows that Alok is going to be calling him with a bunch of hands, and whenever you see a call against an ace-4, you're most likely not ahead, you're behind. But of course, if he had decided to jam there from the small blind with that hand, he would have taken it through, but he understands there are 2 stacks which are under 10 big blinds. There we have Samir enjoying himself with his eyewear again, this time around wearing a white t-shirt.
Not looking tired anymore.
Oh, he's not tired, he's relaxed. He must have seen that money reflect in his bank account. For those of you who don't know, he cashed in close to about 10 lakhs yesterday in the kickoff event, came second.
I was really surprised to see Arsh actually folding ace-8 suited in the last hand. I mean, yes, I believe that Alok is sitting next to you and he's quite aggressive. But I mean, ace-8 hand is like ace-8 suited is a very, very strong hand on the final table. You have a blocker, and I just don't expect Arsh to like lay it down that quickly. So yeah, surprised myself.
This time around, Alok opening the 6-3. He's literally been opening every single hand. I just want to see what Nikita has. She gave it a thought. We don't know what she had, but she lets it go. Anuj also letting his hand fly. Siddhant with the jack-3 on the small blind, folding. And Faiz picking up a monster on the big blind. He's definitely just snap jamming that hand.
All in. It will be an
Alok wasting no time. Alok knows what's up. He just let it go. Doesn't even want to save his face this time around.
Yeah.
He knows that he's obviously opening every single hand, so he's not going to pick up good hands every hand. And he will have a bunch of junk. And everyone on the table also knows that.
I just really hope that 1 or 2 players do start playing back at him, because we've seen that Alok, if not 100, he has around 99% VPIP. So I really want some of the players really want to like give him a fight back.
raise 4.
Alok is relentless, to say the least. Raising again with his jack-6. I mean, he's literally he's not even looking at his hand at this point in time. Taking it down. Picking up another 500,000 chips. Chipping up to 15 million.